Next up, I have the privilege of introducing a powerhouse, internationally accredited and certified somatologist. Angazi, but it sounds like powerful. Uzosichazela. All right, specializing in therapy, stress management, relaxation, assisting in clients in general well-being, and filling their work and life balance. Yazi mama khuluma ngebalance. Work and life, work and life. She's a specialist at this, and she's going to be speaking to us on how SMMEs can position themselves for funding. She's in the building. She's in the building. She's in the house. Orange Farm, let's show some love. Let's show some love. Orange Farm, let's put our hands together for Puseletso. Come on, Orange Farm, Orange Farm, Orange Farm, Orange Farm.
Thank you, thank you. Wow, guys, I love you. Kalerata, wait. The energy in J, it's on fire. Thank you for being here. And did you congratulate yourself? Because it's not everybody who's here who has an opportunity to come and learn. And you left your bed, you left your friends, you left your family, you decided to come here to be empowered. Well done. So, what excites me about what I'm going to talk about, especially the opportunities or even how to position yourself to be funding ready, is because I was once at the position where I wanted to get funding. I was once at the beginning of my journey in the entrepreneurial space, sat before the panel of judges, sat in front of the audience that were voting for whether to be the one getting the money, sat and be adjudicated against other entrepreneurs who were doing amazing things. And I had to learn things that some of you today I'm going to tell you, some of you know, but maybe you're not here, you haven't started. Because it's easy to pitch your business, it's easy to be articulate, it's easy for you to speak big English, right? But there are certain fundamental things that any funding institution, when they fund you, they look at. And when you start a business and you decided, I'm going into entrepreneurial space and I'm going to start a business, you need to start thinking about these things because they're going to happen one way or the other. Especially if you are creating a business, you are not just looking at self-employment. Many of us, when we start business, the first thing you ask entrepreneurs, they will tell you, I'm looking for funding, which is good. But is your business or your idea sustainable? Are you fundable? Are you an entrepreneur that is worthy to be given money? Because we're not going to look at your business in terms of what kind of a business you're running. We are also going to look at you as an individual, your mindset, your character, your personality, everything that encompasses you as an entrepreneur. Is it someone whom we can trust with our money? Right? And let me tell you, many of you sometimes think where you come from matter. Actually, that doesn't matter. Who you are matters. So, quickly, I was introduced as a stress and relaxation therapist. That is where I started in my journey in the wellness space. I've ran a company called Therapeutic Charge Studio, and then later moved into Mind Retirement Institute. I sold the previous company, and then I started another one. So in my years at the Therapeutic Charge Studio, I was funded by Umsombovu at the time. It used to be called. And I know they are here today, NYDA. I hope I saw they are part of the sponsors. So it was a learning curve for me because I needed at least a minimum of 2 million to run a whole spa at a time, to buy a property to be able to convert it into a wellness spa where corporates would come and have their staff to be assessed medically, to have therapy, holistic therapy, to go through medical checks. And it was such a good concept at the time because it was something that the companies were willing to invest in. So in me preparing myself for funding, I needed to have all my statutory requirements in place, have a company that is registered with CIPC, have my tax, at the time it was tax clearance, now it's called tax PIN, be ready, have my finances ready, but I couldn't afford to get any funding at the beginning of the journey. I had to do it after 2 years of my existence. And the reason, and the main reason why I couldn't be funded for that value is because I needed to build first value within my business. I needed to show that I am capable of making money. I needed to show that I've got clients that are willing to buy from me. I needed to make sure that I've got contract in place that are just waiting for me to get access to funding. And I also needed to make sure that the viability of my business, the scalability of my business, and also the employment rate that I'm willing to produce through this business. So at the beginning, they won't fund me because if I was the therapist and just one-man business, didn't have any financials, didn't have any bank account to show that there's money in, money out, it's not about how much money is sitting in your bank account. Most of you are wealthy, but the money is not in your bank account. It's sitting with your assets. So I read a quote, I think it was Jig Jigler, who was saying, it's better to use other people's money than your own, right? So now, here I am, I'm in need of a property to function in because the most expensive thing was for me to rent somebody else's building and convert it into a wellness center. I realized if I have to retain an asset that I have borrowed that 2 million, it gained value over time. By the time maybe I want to sell that property, I will get my money back and I would have paid them, and it means I've made my money through somebody else's money. That's what it means. So our thinking needs to be able to see, we need to be in the mind of how do we continue building business or building assets, because the stock that is sitting in your shelf, it's actually a liability to me. If it's not sweating for you, those machineries that you have purchased, if they're not sweating for you, they're occupying space and they're gathering dust, they're costing you. Because according to the accounting, they will lose value. And eventually when you want to sell it, it's no longer at the same of the book value that it came in as. So these are the things we need to understand, and that's what we need to capture. Even now, if you have stock or you have machinery, you need to continuously update them on your asset list and give it to your accountant to also show you by when you should have sold them, because if they pass that time, they're actually no value. Anyway, coming back to my story, it's always important. I prepared a presentation for you, but it is also very important maybe to share the story from the heart, right? Are you still with me? Okay, cool. So now, I wanted somebody else's money to build my own money. At zero, just what I had was the qualification and the knowledge, and I surrounded myself with the right people, and I asked the right questions. Number one, if you have a pen and paper as I'm writing, please put the nuggets down, because that's how you will remember. Chances are when you walk out of this door, you're only going to remember 20% of what I said. So in terms of refreshing your mind, it will be important for you to write it down, because some of the things I will be talking about are not here on my presentation. Right. Number one, as a small business, who advises you? Who do you go to when it comes to your financial acumen? Who do you listen to? What do you read? What do you watch? What is on your social media statuses? Who are the business owners that you network with? if you are not going to immerse yourself with knowledge and with the right mindset of being able to understand the language of money, you will miss the opportunity and you will miss seeing the money when it's ready for you. Money has a language. Have you heard it? You know how it sounds like? It's very affluent. Money has a language. Can you speak it? One language is if you go through it. I just passed the toll gate coming here, and there was a beep. Where is that money going to? Because they took it out of my bank account. There was a sound. For every time money comes in and money goes out, there's a sound. For some of us, we only hear it once a month. But not only when it comes in, because you hear it every time you swipe, but it's not coming towards you, it's leaving. So the beeps that should be coming should be the beeps when it notifies you of an income, not when it's an expense. You see? And I believe that money loves you. Because it loves me. And that's what I'm talking about, is the mindset. Do you believe that you are worthy? Do you believe that you have what it takes to turn around a business, to turn around 10 rand into 20 rand, to turn 20 rand into 100 rand, to turn 100 rand into a million? Do you think you have what it takes? Because it starts here. My company now is called Mind Retirement Institute, right? So I will always be talking about the mind, because I believe that you are the currency that you are looking for, provided that you know how to become a magnet for it. And it starts in the mind. So, I have only 30 minutes, Jesus Christ. Let me rush through, otherwise I'll start motivating a lot. So, going back, I'm still telling you a story. So, I had to access money through various ways. There are many ways in how I had an opportunity to raise that 2 million I'm looking for to put a property, right? So first one was through the banks. So with the banks, the one thing they needed to see and to look at is, do I have surety? Do I have something as of an asset that when I apply, they could use it should I fail to pay them? Do I have other assets that are quick to cash out should I default in my payments? Or do I have people who can sign up for me and say, should this person not pay us, at least we have this land you can take? And I did not have. I did not have. I couldn't put my mother's house. She would not dare sign it for me. So literally, I did not have. So what do you do in a case where you do not have surety? Do you know? No? So what I did, I went to my clients and I asked them to write me a letter to confirm that they will continue being my client. I went to corporate clients that I had contracts with because I already had signed contracts. I used that as well as a support to say, I have a contract worth 3 million over the coming 2 years, and I need to function because that's where your money will come from to pay you, because this is signed. I had to, because it was a big space, I had to put segmentation within to say, this corner is a psychologist, this corner is a medical practitioner, this corner is a doctor's room, this corner is a massage therapist, and all of them had to sign and say they're going to be tenants. So meaning their money when they pay my rent is their money. I'm just trying to show you that there's always a way. You just have to find a way. And do not be fearful. Guys, money doesn't want fear. It doesn't live in a fearful space. It repels that energy. So be bold enough to go and ask. I mean, what? Nobody's gonna die if they say no. Right? In fact, start loving people who say no to you because they stimulate your mind to think differently. This thing of you guys are like, what if they say no? Yeah, let them say no. And no is a yes in your mind. It's not yet converted. That's an attitude you have to have. So I had to gather all that. You can imagine, I had to put meetings, I had to make sure that they understand my vision. I had to put a business plan, I had to draw up what we call business model canvas to present to them, to show them what I'm seeing. So that they see how they fit into the picture. Because when I sell it to you, you need to benefit from it too, in order for you to buy, right? So that's what I did. And that's how the bank gave me the money. So now, one thing I didn't realize was, yes, I got an asset. Yes, it's big now, but it has no equipment and no finish. And I still have to function, right? I still have to put the desks. I have to put the reception. I have to put the massage bed, all this equipment that will make the place look like a good wellness center. Because all the tenants, I said to them, you come and plug in. It's a co-working space. So now they come alone, and then I have to make sure that in their room, their requirements, a desk, a table, a plinth is there. So now that's when I went to NYDA, which was Umsombovu at the time, and I said to them, guys, I need equipment. I need to be funded for equipment, and luckily I was still under 35, so I could qualify. I guess some of the institutions, their own regulations in terms of who they can fund. So you need to understand when you approach a person, understand what are your requirements, what is it that they want you to have in place. So now when I went there, they came and evaluated the place, the same thing. Any funding institution, whether it's a grant, whether it's a funding, they will always have something that they want in return. So I needed to understand that. But because at that time I have a property that is a hall that is waiting and that is not yet fully finished, I did not read my terms. I signed on the dotted line. I mean, in the journey of entrepreneurship, there are moments of regrets, guys. Especially if not some of us were lazy to read, you will find yourself in trouble. I was in a hurry. I needed signature. So I signed. In fact, I remember very well that the only person I asked who was part of my advisory board, because what I did, I was advised to put an advisory board with a team of people who are in business, whom I can consult when I need help. So one of the things they advised me, in fact, me going for funding was part of the advice I got from them, to say, in order for you to achieve this, you need this amount. Let's work on terms of the value, how much you need. I somehow maybe forgot that I would need equipment from that advice. But anyway, one of the advice I got, and in my team, there were people who are very prominent in business, which I don't always like name dropping, but yeah, they helped me a lot. And using them as well, because that's another thing, entrepreneurs. People whom you know have a good reputation, they can work for your business. But you need to ask them permission to say, can I mention you that you are my client? Can I mention you that you are my business mentor? Can I mention that you are my advisor? And that on its own, people see, oh, if this person can work with this company, there must be something about it, right? Credibility, that's how you build your business credibility. One of the ways, there are many other ways. That will be a topic for the next round when we come back, right? I'm coming back, right? Okay. So, I then had to look at what do I need. So I produced everything, I submitted, and I got the money. And the money they gave me was about, it wasn't much, 150K, because I just needed equipment, and that's what I needed, really. It was a lot if you don't have it. It's not my money after all, and it goes back with interest. So meaning when I paid back, I paid almost 200 and something. Okay, so once I put the equipment in, I worked. I made a mistake of not knowing that when I purchase a property, it needs to have a business right. So whenever you look for funding, whatever the money you're gonna be needing, make sure you are covered, even understanding the policies of the land you are going to plow, or the car you are going to buy, things like that, because you can be caught up in certain things. Here I am, I bought a property that was in the right location but doesn't have business rights, and I started fighting with the residents around because they are saying I'm causing traffic for them. So now what do I do with this elephant now that is sitting here and I've just bought? So I tried by all means to ignore and ignore and ignore after putting the equipment. And later it caught up with me because the municipality came knocking at my door with 250,000 fine of operating 100% of the residential property without business rights. We do those mistakes, right? So as I'm telling you a story, start seeing where you might go wrong. I managed to run 2 years in that property, but at the end of the day, it was a pain because I was fighting with the residents. And now it means I had to find another venue. So when I move for another venue, do I sell? Or do I rent it out and then go find a place where I can move? So I had to look for different opportunities. So funding, I know you want to know how the story ended. I'm coming back next time. I'm still sticking to funding. The beauty about getting funding from institutions like the government institutions, their percentage in terms of the return is not that high as compared to the banks. But you need to honor it because as you default in your payment, interest also kicks in, and eventually you might end up paying a lot. I could not pay back the money because of now the struggle of the residents, the clients were not coming as I thought. Remember, when you have a picture of starting a business, you think people are gonna come running. People were not running to my premises, guys. They were coming to take pictures because it was beautiful. They would sit just for pictures and to be seen. It was like a place where people wanna be seen at but not spent at. And people thought I was fronting a white person, and yet it was my place. And because the moment they're not spending, the stress level is going up, and I'm not even enjoying the beautiful place because I'm just thinking how much I have to pay at the end of the month. Because now I had to employ more people. The bigger the place, the more you have to hire more staff. The more the overheads go up. On average, my overheads were about 250K per month that I needed to pay back. And sometimes my income were about 80, it means there was a shortfall. So where does NYDA feature now? It doesn't feature, right? And I have to pay them back. And the one I made sure that I paid was the bank because they will come and repossess. But now I respect it. So, but respect everyone. Respect everyone, but you know, there's a thing about business that I've learned. When it comes to payment, and I'm not too quick to pay out because I want my money to build interest, but at the same time, I go according to the one who charges me the highest interest rate. I will prioritize them. The one with the least will always be the last I can pay because I know it's not harming me that much. So those are the kind of things that you get to learn, especially because it's like, you know, money laundering in the business. Just have to see so that you can still survive. So there was a shortfall. I can't pay the loan. So Umsumbovu took me to lawyers. I remember that day very well, guys. It so happened, these people are so cruel. Who comes and give you the sermons on Sunday? Yeah, no, that's disrespect. Again, sorry guys, try long sheba mo ki taba mo. Ke be this thing mo fat. Who comes and guys ignore me? Is it me here? This one? You wanna change? I must hold it like this. What are you saying? That is the problem. Okay. Thank you. It's not this. Okay. So Sunday, who comes and knock at your door to disrespect you like that? I know Gabakolota Mara guys, can you really just give me respect? Huh? Can they just respect you enough to say, okay, go drink water. It's still in the morning, have tea. Right? Then I'm receiving that and I'm like, oh Lord, I am not ready to open this document. I've received it and now you sign because I guess they have to show how they gave it to you. Molitso Hong. I go to church and that day, like literally I was hoping the pastor to come with solutions because now I have no answers. The thing about fear is it cripples you from thinking clearly. Something that's small or something that you can easily move yourself out of, you get so caught up to a point that you want to just lay in bed and hide. You don't want to show your face because you're thinking, I'm owing people, they can see that I'm owing. So be careful. When you chose the journey of being an entrepreneur, no hurry, you will be faced with owing people. Stop running. In fact, go for them and tell them, hey, mfana kya ukolota. So unahana nka upatala jwanso. Ukamakala offer solution na ukana umupatala yang. Huh? People come up with answers. In fact, people always have answers for other people, not for themselves. So ask them, how do you think I can pay you? How can you help me pay you? Right? So I didn't do that, and I kept on running. That's why I can end up like Kasandeba and disrespect. Baba? So now, go to church. Maybe I should pray harder so that I can come back. Otherwise, I'm faced with court, and they might come and repossess some of the things to pay themselves back. Oh, what an embarrassment. Remember, now it becomes a mountain. You entrepreneurs, sometimes you are overthinkers. You are so much of an overthinker that you even build a mountain that doesn't exist. Just because somebody gave you summons, you're thinking your children are going to stay in the street. You're thinking, yo, my car, now they won't see me in my beautiful car. Stop it. In fact, be at the point where you say, if they have to come, I'm going to welcome them. Then I'll start again, because the one thing they're taking is assets, but they're not taking my skills, right? That's the moment then you win. That's the moment you win. If you have been in business, you haven't lost, right? You haven't learned. Bona rona ba lositseng ba kana ko ba re skemile along the way. Bona re resilient thata. We build a muscle. The muscle ya go kitla wa ke a tsoga ene ke lo e batla gape. Be ke tle go wena gape. Huh? Guys, failang. O ko le faileng. Failang. Le wele tsoge. O ska dula mo fatshe. Do not stay there. That doesn't define you, does not make you a useless failure, all these things that you define yourself with, because Lunabatung, you guys are hard on yourselves. Stop it. Huh? You're too hard. This thing you want to laugh at, what? Yes, yeah, move on. What's next? You really need to build that kind of resilience in you. So now, I went to church, come back from church, the prayers, in fact, then I come back and open it. I realized that I need to be in court on a certain day. I had about 7 days or something. For some reason, while I was at church, I didn't realize that actually I got my prayers answered. For some reason, I was approached by this pastor's daughter, who I know but I hardly speak to, but I knew she's my pastor's daughter. And then she approached me with that mindset of saying, oh, I know you've been in business. We admire you in business. You are doing so well. And then I'm sitting there thinking, if only you know. You wouldn't even think about it. So, Puseletso, how can you help me? Because I want to start a business like yours. I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, where the hell are you going? But anyway, I said, oh, is it? Tell me about it. No, me and my husband, we were in Senton just 2 days ago. We were looking at the businesses that are on sale. I'm passionate about it. We have the money to start. When she said we have money to start, I'm like, huh? So guys, have an ear to listen. People are answering you, but have an ear. Have an ear. Because sometimes even your intuition tells you, you don't need funding. You just need self-discipline. So she said she had money. And guess what Puseletso did? I'm like, oh, there's another income generating opportunity right there. So some of the things that you, when you're looking for funding, is sitting next to you or is sitting within your people around you. It's not only going to be through institutions, grants, government. It could be sitting with people. It depends on what value you want to exchange with that person. You could be selling some shares in the business so that they can come and partner. But that's another topic in terms of choosing the right partner in business, right? I have only 5 minutes and I have to wrap it up. I'm going to go fast. But are you gaining something out of this conversation? Cool. So then within a day, she gave me, I sold her 30% of my shares and she gave me 450,000 and I paid Umsumbov. So, you see, I believe that I trusted God to help me and he did. So for some of us who are Christians and who believe in God, we use that as another power to exercise. For everything and every time we go enter that door to ask for money, we put him first to clear the way. So practice that. Pray about the plans you have about your businesses. As you put business strategy, put it in spirit. And you know Habakkuk 2:2 talks about put your plans in paper so that those who know can run with it. So guys, we are intertwined, we are connected, and as it is here, there's another opportunity that you can look at. How can we do crowdfunding? But when we are in the crowdfunding where we help one another, can we be trustworthy people? Huh? Can we know, I have borrowed 20,000 to go and buy a laptop, I need to return it back so that another person can benefit? Because for whatever money you are going to ask for, you need to pay it back. So do not always think the mindset of, I want funding. Ask yourself, how will I pay this funding once I've gotten it? Because it seems like some of you forget that. When I was adjudicating for a National Gazelle at CEDA, I know that people who presented, they forgot the part that they have to pay us the money back. Right now, you have a chance of pitching your business to get 50,000. What if that money, we want it back? No, you're thinking you're going to pay it back. The point is you are going to pay it back because you have to invest it in the business so that it can grow. So when I ran such competition, I was working for South African Institute of Chartered Accountants and I ran their program for over 7 years. The entrepreneurs that we gave money, every time when they got money, they forgot about the plan that they presented to us. So now, for you to generate money, for you to make money, you have to have a money mindset. Money mindset is not the one that is fearful of taking money out because money will come back. But at the same time, respect what you do to other people's money. Respect it, because it will respect you back. Guys, I have a lot to share with you, but because of time, I hope what I've shared with you was beautiful. Thank you so much. It wasn't 30 minutes, guys. Oh, evidence.
Yeah.
Give me my phone. Give me my phone.
And it's like she was flowing. Sorry, time. Askies. Please can we put our hands together for us Puseletso. The story is Saudi, deep. And I think you've got more stories. Please come to the front. We're going to take 3 questions. Does anybody have questions for her? Yes, my sister. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Can we get the other mic, please? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's start with the brother there, and then we'll bring it to the front to my sister. Kuluma, boss.
Hi, sorry. My name is Norman. Just to introduce myself, just a student at University of Pretoria. My question is on the investment process, right? There's a journey in terms of like investment, even after like pitching. You pitch, and then after that you meet with the investor for coffee, and then blah, blah, blah. You talk about term sheets. You get to the point of closing the deal, and then getting the money to your account. Can you just quickly help us with that process? Because I think it's very vital. And sometimes like the nitty-gritty stuff, we miss them. Like having all your documentation to share with the investor, to show the overview of your whole business, like saving stuff on Google Drive, stuff like that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's start with, there are different types of investment that you can access, depending on the need of what you need money for. Some people want to purchase assets, others want working capital, others want bridging finance, others want to pay expenses, which is part of working capital. So when you go and have that pitch to your investors, the investors want to really look at your business and see, firstly the business, they look at how have you been capturing your finances? Do you have your monthly or your annual financial management in place? And it's not cooked ones, they're legit ones that are done by your accountant, right? I guess there's a cooking and there's a right. Do the right things, guys. So once you have that, is your business, has it been in existence? Can you show the sweat capital that you have put in? Sweat capital could be the time that you have spent in your business running it full time, because some of us are one leg in, one leg out. And they also look at the strategy or the plan you have in terms of growing the business, the sustainability in terms of also how can it scale up? Can the business function without you in it? Are you the business, or you are running a business that can grow outside of you? Do you pay yourself an income? How much do you pay yourself income versus how much you are getting? Because some of you, if you are getting 80,000 every month and then you're paying yourself 79,000 every month. So they also look at your compliance. Your compliance, we have mentioned, it's all your requirement, including if you are in a construction, they will want to see your CIPC documentation and the level of gradings and all those things where you are at. The other thing is, you as a person who's pitching a business to an investor, invest in knowing and understanding who the investors are, because you will be able to position your business to suit their needs. Some of people are looking mainly into certain industries only, and if you're not in that industry, maybe chances are you're not gonna get money. And many of us, when we don't get money in certain places, we're thinking we didn't do anything right. It's just that it wasn't for you. So the last thing maybe that is also important for you to remember about you is the fact that you shouldn't be on, you must have a good credit record. Do you know, as much as you are applying funding for business, they also look into your personal lifestyle? And that could actually affect how your business become funding ready. So be aware that you and your business, you need to really work hard. So for some of you who started Body Edgar Sales House, go and close those things. Because if you default on them, they give you a bad record. So go learn about how to improve your credit score, because that will work for you as well when you are looking for to be somebody investing in you or to access funding at any institution. Brother, did I answer you? Thank you. Somehow when he spoke about investment, I thought of investment is another opportunity of you right now. Whatever income you are making, I've always learned the habit of putting 5% towards an investment, and I don't touch it. Because there are rainy days where now, like COVID when it happened, we needed to tap in some of the investment we did through the business so that it can assist. So do not touch that 5% of your income, put it towards an investment so that you can always have access to funding without having to borrow money from someone. Okay. Second question.
Hi, sis. Thank you so much.
We want to see you go.
Thank you. I like that. So my name is Tuli, and thank you so much for this very helpful session. I really acquired a lot from listening to you. I have two questions.
Yes.
You said you got property, right? And the banks needed surety and everything. And I'm not experiencing that, but doesn't that property become surety? Do they not accept they have that very own property as surety? That it goes back to them if I'm unable to pay it. Do they not do that?
Second question.
Cool. When you now were at the church and the daughter of the
wants the
pastor,
story this
yes, did you disclose your debt to her?
Okay, I'll get there.
Ah.
So let's. The first question is the. Let me rephrase. Let me understand if I get you correctly. I was looking for money to purchase a house. So now you want them to take their own house and to put it as a surety for themselves. You see, it's yours once you have paid it. At that moment, you are being unfair to them because they can't put themselves against themselves for surety. It's still their house. But in other places where you have had track record of paying it and you have even owning it, you can put it up as surety, especially if it has gained interest over time. But in this instance, while you are still looking to purchase a property or buy an asset, that asset is not yours. You can't put a surety against it. They need something else. They need to make sure that they are able to cash out something to pay themselves. You see? When you go buy a house, it's different from how you come buy a car. You know, these people are so easy to give you a car, but they are sometimes difficult to give you a property. And no, it's the owners. The second question is, did I disclose my challenges? Hell no, girl. How do I say, I disclosed it in my mind. How do I say, I owe people? What I knew at that moment is, I owe people is not equal to I'm failing to deliver. So I stuck with the value of my business. And I love her because she didn't do due diligence. She didn't ask for financials. And so she trusted me as a brand and because of who I am in the industry, because I made my name. So that was good enough for her to think, oh, she's coming to be with the right person. And indeed, she came to be at the right person because when I bought my shares back, she got double of what she gave me, and it was within 6 months. Yeah. Third question. Is there another question?
We have to close because of time, unfortunately. But you're not going anywhere. You're still around, right? Yeah, you're still around.
It's my wedding anniversary.
It's a wedding anniversary. You can spend it with tea. One more time, please. Can we just give you another amazing round of applause? Needs a session. She needs like an entire session, right? Please, can we get the photo? Thank you. Oh.